A slice of Americana survives in the small but proud town of Roscoe, New York. Near the once famous Catskill Mountains, inspiration for the film Dirty Dancing, sits a more than a century-year-old hotel, fondly referred to as the Campbell Inn. Nary can a trace of history be found on the internet about this once grand hotel high atop the hill. In July of 2014, I visited the vacant, still standing, but weak structure. With permission, I accessed the grounds to photograph and record a piece of history. Built around 1900, as I walked the grounds 114 years later, I couldn't help but imagine the breath of life that once filled the grounds and space of this mammoth hotel. The birds were singing on this bright and sunny summer day, and there was an odd wind high atop the hill that my video camera would capture on the recording. I made my way on foot up the long pathway. My original plan to drive was blocked by the fence wrapped in a wire lock, which would be quite fortunate considering the old narrow path I would find. Little blacktop remained, and old railings that once served as guides to keep cars from careening off the side would do little in their current condition. Along the path, old light posts still stood, once the only source of illumination on this long drive at night. As I walked the path, I could only think of that brochure I had found on the internet describing the village of Roscoe. It read, "Roscoe is 118 miles from New York by auto and 135 miles via the Ontario and Western Railroad from Weehawken, New Jersey. It is on State Road Route number 17 that connects New York with Buffalo. Automobile parties will find that the accommodations at the inn are especially good. The village of Roscoe is far in advance of the majority of places of its size. The stores are up to date, and the theater presents talkies and other attractions of especially high order. Catholic, Presbyterian, Congregational, and Episcopal churches are within 10 minutes' walk. Guests are met at the station when the management is notified as to the time of their arrival. Address, Harry S. Campbell, Roscoe, New York." As I approached the end of the path, I was about to get my first glimpse ever in real time of this magnificent property as she stands today. While most resorts have seen their demise and demolition, the Campbell Inn still survives. Though it's not operating, it's difficult to determine when she last welcomed guests on her grand front porch. But from what little I could find, the inn has been closed for over a decade. A news article from 2001 indicates the hotel was to be demolished and replaced by developers with an 11-story resort hotel and spa. According to the story, Roscoe Hotel Development Corporation President Robert Schwartz went to St. Petersburg, Russia, where he met with the current owner at the time, Boris Podobsky, to negotiate the inn's purchase. The article states that Schwartz himself was a guest of the inn at the young age of 11, when it was owned by the Wood family, who purchased the inn in 1932 from descendants of the hotel builder Jefferson Campbell. Shirley Wood sold the property in 1986, after 54 years of the Campbell Inn being in the ownership of her family. Shirley passed away in December of 2004. Obviously, those plans revealed and discussed in the spring of 2001 never came to fruition. Certainly in its early life, brochures proclaimed the inn operated from May 1 to November 1 and could accommodate 200 guests. In the early part of the 1900s, heating such a mammoth structure while maintaining access to the inn on snow-covered roads would have been made operating the inn too costly. After all, this was a summer resort for families to enjoy wonderful food, outdoor swimming, tennis, fishing, golf, and of course music. As a fine orchestra is employed, dancing may be enjoyed each evening, reads the brochure. The proprietor continues to describe the inn as making no pretensions of being elaborate or of possessing costly furnishings. Indeed, the Campbell Inn was in the true tradition of the many New York State resorts that once flourished and served the neighboring towns. The decline of the Campbell Inn and its imminent end of life is not just a story about the Campbell and Wood families who operated it for nearly 90 years. It's about a loss much greater. Many hotels and resorts of this period are long gone, fallen into despair, followed by demolition, and in only a few cases, a new lease on life. Some, like the Campbell Inn, sit today waiting for their fate. The modernization and globalization of life makes speeding off to faraway lands easy and often less time-consuming or expensive than driving hours up a mountain road. But without a doubt, many an American family no longer desires or appreciates age as beauty or history as desirable. Lest we discuss the challenges of operating a small independent business in America. I know all too well the fate of the Campbell Inn. Without a huge influx of funds, with little return on the investment, the inn is surviving on borrowed time. Vacant structures cannot withstand the wrath of Mother Nature alone. I know this firsthand as a former innkeeper of a small 10-room inn in Chester, Vermont. After I sold it and moved away in 2004, just a few years later the inn went empty and became another bank-owned property. Sitting vacant for only a year took a significant toll on the structure. Though that story had a happy ending, a couple with a dream purchased it while it still had time. After considerable cost, they reopened the doors in 2008 and have been operating ever since. But that outcome is rare. In the same small town, once served by over 20 bed and breakfasts and inns, now only 8 survive. Many, including the 200-year-old Rowell's Inn, once a stagecoach inn, and one of the longest-running hotels in Vermont along Route 11, stopped operating several years ago. Without a buyer, the inn, while smaller in size, has seen the same decay as the Campbell Inn. We have only one opportunity to save history before it's gone. Slight as it may be, the Campbell Inn still has a chance. Even more so, the Rowell's Inn has an even better chance, for her doors have only been closed a few years, not more than a decade. The question is, who will come to the rescue of these beautiful gathering places, where moments and memories are embedded in the walls? Many gathering places didn't make it, like the century-old hotels along the New Jersey shore I followed for years. Both the Christian Admiral of Cape May and the Metropolitan Hotel of Asbury Park lost their battles to the wrecking ball. The Campbell Inn, standing vacant for so long, is a testament to the remarkable construction. Listen for a moment to the birds singing her praise that summer day I visited in 2014.
Can you imagine the sounds of Dirty Dancing?